Yes. That diversity is a gift.
Diversity is a gift. Somebody capturing this? Ron is, I know Ron is. Okay, good.
I don't know about that last one. We need a new structure. The word structure bothers me. Maybe we need a new way of being together or something like that.
Okay, so something around that word structure, that's why we also put up roadmap, because that was also a word that was used. Yeah, maybe it's...
One of the things I don't see that I heard this morning was some affirmation that there's a mystery that's bigger than everything, that's both without and within.
An affirmation that there's bigger than... Mystery, bigger than everything. Mystery, bigger than everything, both without and within.
An urgency to move forward together with all who share the charism. I think we have to add to that those that we are trying to expose the Gospels to and bring them in on the journey.
Okay, well, so maybe we need to work a little bit with that one. Because right now it reads, we want to move forward together with those who share the charism, and how we want to move forward together, we still are going to be debating. And so maybe part of the how would be bringing it to people we're trying to expose the Gospels to. So we'll keep that, we'll capture that and keep that.
One of the thoughts that came out of sharing at our table came from Tracy here, who said that in being connected, that maybe the associates should have something like a chat room or on the computer where they can communicate with each other on calls and so forth, that this might be a way of connecting.
Okay, well, we'll capture that because that's more of a how or how we're going to keep ourselves connected moving forward. So we'll keep that captured.
I'm wondering on that last one, instead of we need a new structure or roadmap, if we might say we need a new way of being together and proceeding toward the development of a shared vision. To associate proceeding together on a journey to that.
Okay, captured. Because I see we're gonna have to bring back some more reiterations to this.
The urgency to move forward together with all who share charism. We were discussing that here, and it seems we were more of the opinion that was move together as associates and profess, gather together, forward. So you may need 2 bullets. You can't make that into one. Incorporating the bigger section.
Okay, that's something else to keep in mind. See, this is good because we're getting down to the concrete. What do we really mean about moving forward and how we want to do it? So that was about sisters and associates moving forward together, and this reads those sharing the charism.
I'm not sure. Implicitly, there's some attitudes there. But I would like to see more of an explicit expression of the attitudes of openness and, anyway, some attitude of trust. You know, there's a whole little bevy of attitudes which if we try to live those would include all this other stuff, is what I'm saying. So I don't know if we need a statement on attitudes or not.
So kind of separating out, as we move forward together, we'd like to do it with these characteristics or attitudes, but the how will be more explicit. Very good.
I just want to say, if
structure is the wrong terminology. I personally believe we are called at this assembly to together find a way as associates to be part of this community, because yes, together we are more, and I feel like something does need to change.
Okay?
I think I can talk loud enough. A very wise CSJ at our table. A very wise CSJ at our table, in response to this and urgency to move forward together, with all who share the charism, assuming CSJs and associates, she said, don't let the sisters hold us CSJs back. But in addition to that, individually, we should not let anyone hold us back individually.
It's always a challenge in life, someone, it's not false track to being held back.
I think that last one about structure, I want to address the structure because we have an existing structure. And that's what I think we need to look at and how can that be different in relationship. I think when we're together, we're fine, but it's about structure.
Okay, that's good.
And I agree. I think we are cultural, structure is our cultural structures are how we're able to move forward and get some consistency. That's a part of social movement. So we need to, be careful how we do that, but we need to do it if we really want to move forward. We need to have some framework or some container or something that will give us the shape so that we can really move forward.
Okay, we're going to take all this feedback and we'll be coming back with this revised again. Well, here, let me get this other copy.
I just wanted to say that where it says the desire to journey together, I think it should be more than desire. Because when we were talking in our group, we were thinking that what made my associate group closer was not just the journey, but actually doing things together as a group. We would just meet once a month, but we went to Nazareth for the Christmas party, and that brought us together much more so as a community. So we do have the desire, but we have to act on it.
So something there about intent and an action to bring about the intention. Well, what we want to do this afternoon is we're going to kind of shift now to look at responding to the growing of a disconnected world. And Sean, did you have something before we go into the video?
This is just maybe a summary of the morning of relationships. And what difference does it make how we look at what we are related to, the whole cosmos? Is it people, are the dear neighbor now at this age and time, all of creation, all space, which is not empty, it's full of energy. There have been people who have tried to pray out of that reality. So this is not just about Jesus and me anymore. The difference a lot of this makes is not just how do we imagine the holy to be, and as soon as we ask the question, we've already boundaried God, which we don't want to do. But that's how we humans name. We name something and we've already given it a boundary. Chair. So, it makes a difference in spiritual life. It makes a difference how we view sacred mystery. And a concrete example of how that might affect our interpretation of so-called sacred symbols. Red wine, body of Christ. Okay. One very concrete example that you may or may not like is this. It's a prayer of one of the many universal prayers of a man who I will say was condemned by the church, Pierre de Chardin, who is looking at the reality of the body of Christ as he experiences and names it at his point in time. And this is a piece of one of his morning prayers. He says, he's a paleontologist on the steppes of Asia on a dig for the Peking man. That's the context for it. So he says, once again, Lord, here I am on the steppes of Asia. The sun is rising. Now I have to look out and I see, though I'm a priest, I have no altar. My altar is the world. This is the world that for me this day is your body. So I bring this day not only all of humanity, but all of creation. When I pray with you, this is my body. And I bring now this day all the suffering, the pain, the separation in our world as I pray, and this is my blood. The bread of life that you are is all life. If only I could mean it with your vision when I say all of this is my body and my blood. If only I could really say in fullness, the body of Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Sean. And before we go to the groaning of a disconnected world, I'm going to groan because I just disconnected something. We did have two key questions that we wanted to put before everyone, just to keep in the back of your minds as we watch the video and we go through our commitment ceremony and our dinner tonight, and we get into tomorrow's work, which will be around what, if this is emerging, and we'll have some more summaries for you, then what are some of the changes we need to make. But what seems to be coming up is how do we harness the energy of here, of all of us, for positive change wherever we are? How do we start to harness that? And then again, what came up was this idea, whether we want to call it structures or roadmap, it's kind of like what changes do we need to make so we can harness this energy for positive change. So keep those in the back of just your mind and mull it over, and we'll be getting back to that tomorrow as we move into more concrete work. We're going to go from the bigger picture down to this is really who we say we are and what we want to be together, and how do we get there. And now we invite you to listen to the story of Lynn Twist. And her experience speaks of deep listening, an open mind and heart, and the power of intention to connect us from continents apart for the good of our world. And she describes herself as a global activist, fundraiser, consultant, author, who devoted her life to bringing about an environmentally sustainable, socially just, and spiritually fulfilled human presence on earth. That's her creed right there. And she began her journey committed to ending world hunger, and was redirected through some incredible mystical experiences to the Achuar people in Ecuador. The Achuar people proactively intended a relationship with the modern world, but a relationship on their terms. Their criteria for the people they invited through dreams and visions were global voices and open hearts. Know that the rainforest is a crucial ecosystem for the sustainability of life, and respect the way of the shaman and be ready to hear about what the indigenous people have to share about the modern world. And after the video, we'll have 3 to 5 minutes of just some quiet time so you can let what you hear soak in. And again, we'll have questions for table sharing. So as you watch the video, think about how has Lynn Twist responded to the groaning of a disconnected world? What resonates from her life and what you saw in the video with your life story of transformation? And is there a larger vision emerging around our participation in this mystery of transformation? So we'll have table sharing around those questions, and we will share in the larger group what is emerging at your table around our participation in the mystery of transformation. So we'll have the quiet, and again, when I ring the bell, that'll bring you out of the quiet. After the video, we'll have 3 to 5 minutes of silence to get in touch with where God speaks inside of you and to get centered. Go to that sacred space. And then we'll have sharing at your tables. And I'll tell you when I see what time it is, how long you'll have for that right after the silence. So let me get the video up.
but also one of the most biodiverse jewels and rainforests in the world, one of the most important ones. Invited there, called there, dreamed there by the Achuar people, a remote and recently contacted at that time indigenous tribe. And these Achuar people had seen in their dreams and visions, the shamans and elders, that danger was coming to their territory and contact was ultimately inevitable. So they did something remarkable that we don't know of any other indigenous group that's done that in history. They initiated the thing they most feared, and that's contact with the modern world, but on their terms, in their territory, in a way that they could control. So they breathed us to them. And in that first encounter, miracles occurred. First of all, they told us they needed our help, and that's why they called us there. They wanted to understand the modern world, but more importantly, they knew that we needed to understand what they knew about the world. So they said to us initially, in the very beginning, if you're coming to help us, even though we asked you to come, if you're coming to help us, don't waste your time. But if you're coming because you know your liberation is bound up with ours, then let's come together. So with that understanding, my life completely changed. And my husband and I became deeply and unequivocally committed to empowering the indigenous people of the Amazon to preserve their ecosystem, to preserve the tropical rainforests by empowering them, the natural custodians of these forests. But even more important than that initial encounter was what they said to us after we did with them a little while. And that is, they said, great people come to help us. We need you. But the most important work you can do is to go home where you came from and change the dream of the modern world. A dream that's become a nightmare for ourselves and all forms of life. A dream that's rooted in consumption, acquisition, and endless destruction of the natural world. And they said you can't really change your everyday actions because they'll always line up with the dream you have, what you're wishing for, what your vision is. But if you change the dream, your everyday actions will be informed by that. And that will be a different kind of life. So we went home with that mandate, not knowing what to do with it. And out of that, the Pachamama Alliance was born. The word Pachamama means Mother Earth, but to the Quechua people whose word that is, it means the earth, the sky, the universe, and all time. And the Pachamama Alliance is an alliance between indigenous peoples of the Amazon and the Andes, and conscious committed people in the modern world, like you and me. So what does it mean to change the dream of the modern world? I'm sure that occurs to you that that's a kind of a big job. So, it wasn't my plan for myself to work in the Amazon. I was committed to ending world hunger, but it was my destiny. And when we began to work on the dream of the modern world, we began to see that the indigenous people are not caught in that, and we are. We're in a deep, deep trance. And they can see that we're in it. They're not in it, and that's how they can see that we are. And they don't make us wrong for it. Incredibly that they don't make us wrong for it. They have some compassion for how deep this trance is. And they can help us wake up. And so waking up from the dream of the modern world requires a kind of courage, requires a kind of resolve, requires a kind of knowing ourselves that is an act of courage and consciousness that's critical for the times we're living in. I would say that the financial crisis that we're living through is not a financial crisis that's really driven by greed on Wall Street only. I mean, that's a big factor. Or the kinds of things that were done by the mortgage banks, but it's actually maybe at the heart of it, an ecological crisis. In 1987, scientists say was the year that we crossed a particular line, that we became a humanity that was taking more from the earth than she could regenerate. And many economists, particularly ecological economists, predicted that within 20 years, because we were an ecological overshoot, taking more from the Earth's resources than she can regenerate, that we would have a financial crisis that would be so deep, that would be so important, that it would be a huge and almost unending crash until we began to live within our ecological needs. And I say that this financial crisis we're living through is actually an ecological crisis showing up in the economy. So I invite you to think about how this collective trance that we're living in is something we can unlock ourselves from. I invite you and I to look and see how we're living, the choices we're making, and how they impact that child that was on the screen just before I came out here. I invite you to consider the possibility that the choices that you and I make every day could determine the future of life for the next 1,000 years. And not like a burden, but the opportunity to realize that with that incredible gift, that you and I are living in a time in history when our choices, the choices we make, can make that kind of an impact. That we're living in a time when we can live the most meaningful lives that any generation of humankind has ever lived. And that ennobles your life. It ennobles who you are. It ennobles who I am. It's not something to be afraid of. It's something to celebrate. So I'm so deeply inspired by the messages of Indigenous people. I'm deeply inspired to be alive at this special time. And for me, the work of our time is to hospice the death of the old structures and systems that no longer serve us. They're unsustainable. They're dying. And when something or someone is hospiced, it dies a natural, graceful death, and it dies faster. We don't need to kill them. They are dying. While we midwife the birth of the new structures and systems that we now know in the 21st century will serve humanity and the future of life. Hospicing and midwifing are both acts of love and witnessing. What's called for is love. What's called for is consciousness. What's called for is being the kind of human being you've always dreamt you could be. And we're living in conditions, circumstances, and historical moments that call for that greatness, that give us an opportunity to live up to the potential that humanity's always had. So for me, it's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to listen to these messages of Indigenous people. It's a privilege to know that we have the opportunity to stop the destruction of these rainforests. And right now, in the Ecuadorian Amazon, a new crisis is looming. The Chinese National Oil Company, which is one of the most cash-rich entities on Earth, is doing everything it can to get into the most pristine, most biodiverse rainforest on Earth. And it looks like it's the oil company that is the enemy there. But if you really look at it, it's actually our way of life. It's us that's putting pressure on these rainforests. It's us that need to actually relook at the way we're living. So the privilege of being alive at a time like this, the privilege of really being awake to the consequences of our actions, is the tenor, the fabric, the beauty, the gift of our time. And I want to close by reading a quote that's very meaningful to me, and a kind of watchword for the times we're living in. And it's by George Bernard Shaw. This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief animal to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I've got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Thank you.
Take a few moments of silence just to be with that. And I'll ring the bell when the silence is over and we'll go into the table sharing.